If you were to start over again, you had no money, what would be the first 10 videos you tried to make? It's advice for a new person and nobody knows you.
If I don't have what I have in my head, then I would say just fail. A lot of people get analysis paralysis and they'll just sit there and they'll plan their first video for 3 months. Any of you listening, especially if you have 0 videos on your channel, your first video is not going to get views, period. It's not. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that. So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end and just get to work and start uploading. Like, all you need to do is make 100 videos and improve something every time. Do that. And then on your 101st video, we'll start talking. We have a lot of videos going on. You can't just in a vacuum be like, all right, we're not doing anything for 100 days. We're only filming this. So step one is we had to build an independent crew that could actually do that for 100 days. That way everyone else can keep working on the normal videos and not just screw everything up. Get a trailer, set up the cameras, go out in the field, paint a circle. Now we need a house. Go buy a house, bring it out there. And then it's like, oh, wait, I think it'd be funny if I brought the house in on the intro. You know, find a crane that can lift up a house so I can drive it in and drop it in the intro.
Giving away money. What's the secret to that?
Higher number is always better than the lower number. Yeah, for the most part. And you know, it's interesting, like some videos will give away $1 million, some videos will give away $500,000. There's no difference whether I put 500K or $1 million. There's probably not even really a difference between 100K or $1 million. I haven't really looked into it. Like, some of our most of the videos are not us giving away $1 million, and sometimes the $1 million videos just don't do as well as the other ones. So there is a certain point where a dollar amount is just a large dollar amount to an average human. And so I think that point is 100K. Like, anything above 100K, the average human is just like, that's a lot of money.
There's a reason no one else does what I do. Right. There is, like, no one, not a single creator.
When I look at this hat, I think so much about our video we made in November with you at the Beast Burger opening.
I think a lot of people think what I do is easier than it is. That was not that crazy for me. Like, it was crazy in a hectic day, but in the scheme of what I do, like, that is like just a slightly above stressful day for me. But everyone in the comments is like, I had no idea. This is what Jimmy goes through. I like, what do you mean? Like, I've done harder things. Do you think making Squid Game in 30 days was easy? Like, you know, this was me for 30 days straight. Like I said, a lot of people, I think my life is easier than it is. And like, these magical big videos that no one else does just happen. Like, they're freaking hard. They're so hard.
Let me show you this. Every thumbnail we do, we actually do like 7 versions of. This was for 100 Boys vs 100 Girls. This is like our upcoming video, like 2 different ones. This is for the 100 million subscriber video. Interesting thing is I recently cut my hair very short, and then we went to make a thumbnail the next video, and it just didn't look like me. So even though I have short hair, my thumbnails still have me with long hair because more people recognize it.
How many hours would you say it takes to edit the average video?
Our 100 million subscriber special, I think we were just doing the math. I think it was like collectively like 1,700 hours across all the editors. Like, I really want to make the video as good as possible, and so sometimes, you know, we'll edit a video a certain way, and then, you know, we'll just be like, well, what if we try this? And so we'll have to like basically re-edit the video to see if this other way produces a better story and if it flows better. And then we'll be like, oh, that's not as good. And then you go back to this one, and then we try this. And it's a lot of testing. So we usually edit a video like, you know, 5 or 7 times. Let's say in Japan, there's this like yellow fruit that if you ate it, just like made you jump 10 feet taller, right? Let's say it does exist, but you don't know. So you couldn't come up with a video idea around eating that fruit because you don't know it's a thing. And so my well of knowledge needs to constantly be expanding, so I have more things to draw inspiration from our ideas. If not, you're gonna get the same ideas over and over again. So it happens for a lot of creators. That's why their videos are repetitive and always the same thing, because if you're not constantly learning new things, then your ideas are just limited to what's in your head, and eventually you're gonna drain it.
A lot of creators talk about getting depressed when the videos don't do as well as they kind of expected.
I am a numbers guy, but also it used to. It used to very much, especially when I was like betting everything I had on a video. When it did bad, I was devastated, man. I'd cry and I'd be depressed for days. And I don't know, now it doesn't really matter. It's if a video does bad, I just look at it and I'm like, oh, why'd this video do bad? And I just look at it objectively, unemotional, and then just move on. And I feel like that's a much healthier way of going about it. You just have to unemotionally look at the video, determine the problems, and then move on.
So you said you've failed in a bunch of videos, sort of taking them to completion. So what are some of the biggest fails?
Yeah, weirdly enough, as we've matured and we've done this more, we don't have that problem as much, especially now that we're getting into the multi-million-dollar budgets per video. We would do a video where we spent 24 hours on a deserted island, and we filmed it, did it all, and I didn't like it after the edit. So I just grabbed the voice and we went back to the deserted island and spent another 24 hours there and refilmed it. Videos where it's very hot or it's on water, because I get super seasick. There's like a kind of like 10 things that if they have these variables,
I'm down to do it, but my fun meter is not as high as normal.
How do you hire a great team?
The big thing is, especially in this content creation, because it's not like anything that's done on Netflix or different content mediums. I really need people who are coachable. If Netflix wanted to hire someone to do a documentary, there's probably tens of thousands of people you could hire that have worked on documentaries before. But if you want to hire someone to make super viral YouTube videos, you know, like we do, there's just no one you can really pull from. For me, it's almost easier to hire people that are just hard workers, that are obsessed and really coachable, and just train them how to like be good at content creation and production, than to hire someone from like traditional.
What makes for a good title? Short?
Not just short. Ideally, the title represents content that you would want to watch for 20 minutes. So if it's a 20-minute video and the title is I stepped on a bug, it's not gonna, because it's all of it combined. The click-through rate is gonna be much lower. And then if it was like a 5-second video, people might click it. So you gotta, like, even nuances of the length of the video based against the title will affect whether people want to click it, because sometimes they just don't add up. Short, simple, ideally, and just so freaking interesting they have to click. And it is a good segue into the content, and it represents the length of the content.
And do you ever look back on old content? Like, I know you had like that Logan Paul video where you said his name a million times, and now you guys are like hanging out at nightclubs together. Do you ever look back on your old content and go like, I feel like embarrassed by how I got?
Oh, fuck no. I think
Really?
like, I'm glad my old
What
videos
an
are
asshole
just
question
shit.
that
Yeah.
was.
Is it?
But I think it's important because I think it shows, like, I started making no money and like literally making $1 a day, and now we're the biggest YouTuber in the world. So I'm glad the old videos suck, because it shows like other people that they can do it as well. It's a perfect example that kamikaze your way to the top. Just reinvest the money, give up all your social life, and just fucking go hard, and you can do it. You know, you don't really need tons of money.
Can you tell them what you invest per thumbnail?
Yeah, well, we probably spend around $5,000 to $10,000 a thumbnail. Just making sure we get the right image and it's good. Because like the thumbnail makes a difference between 50 million views or 200 million. So,
And how many thumbnails per episode or per video?
around 3. Yeah. Because like
So 30,000 in thumbnails.
no, that's 10,000 for all 3.
Okay.
We're not that crazy.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something, and everyone's like proud when they're like, I put 10,000 hours into this thing. I'm gonna put 10,000 days into this. Like literally, like 10,000 days is like 30 years, and I'm almost 15 years in. I'm literally on a quest to not put in 10,000 hours, but actual 10,000 days into my craft. Throughout all that just sheer stupid amount of time I've dumped into this, I've just learned what does well. But for other people, they don't, and they upload 20 videos, one does well, and they don't know why the other 19 didn't do well.
That day the Squid Game video comes out, you push publish. What is the next like 12 hours?
It's crazy because like that month we gained on just the English channel 9 million subscribers. No, actually I think we gained 10 million subscribers that month.
Jesus.
Yeah, fucking crazy. Across all the platforms that month, we gained like 25 million.
His fucking warm hand.
That
day?
broke the
What was
world
that day?
record for like most views on a single YouTube video in a day.
Do you ever run out of ideas?
Fuck no. I have a Google Doc with like 10,000 ideas in it, and at least like 500 I know would go ultra viral. The problem is more like the time to film. Not ideas has always been easy for me. You really just have to make sure when people fucking click your videos, they love it. That's why we're able to get so many views, because we've consistently put out great videos over a long term where people are just conditioned to see a MrBeast video, they click.
When is the moment that you realized that you could turn this into a business?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. So probably when I started making around $20,000, $30,000 a month is when it kind of clicked in my head that I could hire someone for a couple grand and basically double my output, and one person would double it, and I could hire a person for like 4 or 5 grand. It's kind of a no-brainer. And so then I just brought on a guy to help me move boxes and just help with the simple stuff. And I was like, oh well, now let me go hire an editor, and that was game changer.
Subscribers is just a vanity metric, It doesn't, subscribers don't correlate to views. A lot of people do really care about subscribers or even followers, like on TikTok. On YouTube, very, very few percent, if even a percent of your views come from the sub feed.
But what about views?
They do, obviously, because if people are showing up time and time again, that's what matters. If someone just isn't coming up with original stuff and putting in the effort, you can't just say, oh, it's because they're chasing views. We need some different metric for them to chase. No, they just need to find their own way.
Well, it just feels like unique type of content will often lead to sacrificing the number of views in the short term.
But in the long term, you win.
We do things like just take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views you got, or like like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that.
Really? So you micro-analyzed
Everything.
Really?
Yeah, just for like we were very religious about it, and so that's where most of my knowledge came from.